And it's become a really wonderful place for my creativity to thrive. I'm a few years away from having my last hit as an artist, and I'm really kind of like headfirst into writing and producing for other people. And even though I kept doing pop and rock stuff, I was welcomed to a great degree, as much as any pop guy was allowed to be at that time, into Nashville, into the artistic community, particularly the songwriting community. And through that, I met some people, executives and record people and stuff, and I get a call one day from a guy at MCA Records in Nashville who says, hey, would you be interested in writing with Shelley Wright? And I immediately knew your name from your massive #1 song, Single White Female, which I really liked a lot. And maybe it was just about to go into the second single, It Was, which I arguably loved even more as a song and as a performance. But, and I remember I was a little, I didn't want to just do whatever just because somebody had a hit.
Yeah.
So I said, well, I'd like to, I need to do a little deeper dive.
Yeah.
So he said, I'll messenger you. I was at a hotel.
Was that Shane Barrett?
Shane Barrett.
Okay.
Shane Barrett.
Yeah.
He said, I'll messenger you over her CD. So I drove around Nashville for a day or two listening to your album. This is all stuff you know already, but it's fun to reminisce this way. And there was Single White Female. I was like, oh yeah, this is really good. I hear it on the radio all the time. It's really good. Then I heard It Was, and I was like, oh God, there's something about the way she's phrasing this. And it's such a good song by Gary Burr. And then there was and you had maybe 2 Wrights on that album, or maybe 3.
I don't know. We'd have to go back and look.
Yeah,
but
it was
I definitely
a lot of
didn't write
covers,
them. Yeah.
a lot of songs you covered by other writers.
Yeah, a lot of new originals that I didn't write.
Right.
And a few that I think a few that I did.
Yeah, I think there were a few.
Yeah.
But, so I was sort of, and I'm a credits junkie, but I was driving around, so I didn't know who had written what. And then we get to the last song called Picket Fences. And I remember I had to listen to it a couple of times, and I couldn't wait to get back to my hotel to see who wrote that song. And it was your sole write on the album. It was the song you wrote by yourself. And I remember I called Shane Barrett and I said, I would love to write with Shelley Wright. And he set it up.
Yeah.
So we have him to thank for this.
We do. And I recall the first time, I don't know if we talked on the phone or got together, but I recall you were telling me that you had explored the record beyond the hit and the new release that was coming out, which now, after having known you for 26 years, what? It's totally in keeping with who you are as a creative person. You've never chased the new it thing. And I remember when you told me, I dug into the record. I didn't know who'd written what, but the song that really grabbed me is a song that you wrote. And as a writer, and especially as a woman who writes songs, for someone as esteemed as you and accomplished as you, to recognize my acumen as a songwriter. And, I'm pretty picky about who I write with too. And I have a hard time writing with people who haven't written a bunch of songs by themselves.
Yeah, because you don't know really what you're getting. If somebody writes a bunch of great songs, but they're all co-writes, or they're all 3-way writes, or whatever, you don't really, sometimes they are the through line. Yep. That's happened. Yep. But let's face it.
Sometimes it's not.
Sometimes it's not, and you don't know what you're getting in a room with. Yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
And I was just really flattered and excited, and that song in particular I'd written a long time ago. At that time, a few years prior, and the way that it ended up on the record was really unique and really kind of. When I think about that record, that song almost not being on that record, there's a really good chance Richard Marx would not have become my friend.